The name of Allah, who came in person of Master Farad Muhammad, who raised his messenger Elijah Muhammad to prepare the way for the messenger of the covenant, Suleiman. Welcome. Assalamu alaikum. This is the new or the resurrected nation of Islam. The resurrected nation of Islam. Welcome, brothers and sisters. Bring in our audio audience. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Welcome. Speaker. Thank you, brothers and sisters. Again, apologize. We're working on new systems, complicated. Get used to it. First, we start off with remembrance of the Holocaust. Holocaust. That's what we experienced for nearly 500 years here in America. Horror, sheer horror. When you look at the Abrahamic covenant, when Abram was experiencing the vision of what we would suffer, it depends on translation, but some translation says it was horror. The vision was horrific. Some say it was terror. The vision of terror. Either way, same thing, because it takes terror to maintain a system of horror. That's what it was. They're trying to downplay it by calling it slavery. Slavery is the economic part of it. Minimum overhead, maximum profit. That's what they did. See, they fed us shit, literally, to save money, because they saw that when they slaughtered the hog, they were throwing away the intestines and the GI tract and everything. They said, oh, wait, we ain't throw that away anymore. We don't give it to them. Shit tract. So they literally fed shit. That's why they call it shitterlings. And they think we're so dumb, some of us appear to be, and they can just take the S off and put the C there, and it's okay now. Still shit. I don't care if you want shit or shit. It's still shit. And so, to the extent they cooked it at all, they didn't take time to take off, remove any of the shit at all. They cooked it all together. I mean, you know, when they cook it nowadays, they at least try to move some of this shit. They can't move it all. Because when you're cooking it, you can smell it, you see it rise on the flow in the water and everything else. But there, they ain't even bothered to do that. They just cooked it all together, and you ate it. You better eat it, but it knock your teeth out and put a phone in your mouth before she did. Holocaust, brothers and sisters. Slavery does not include the thing you see in these images there. Murder, rape, dismemberment, burning, castration, disembowelment. It doesn't include those things. Look it up. That's why in Abrahamic covenant it says they would be enslaved and afflicted. See, that's two different things. And they're being punished. They're presently being punished now because of the affliction, not the enslavement. So let's not get it twisted. They terrorized us. America is a terrorist nation. They terrorized us for over nearly 500 years, and now they're talking about, oh, they're terrorists. There's been a lot of terrorists. Washington and Jefferson, they were all terrorists. So-called founding fathers, all terrorists. The worst terrorists ever produced in human history. And they was terrorizing children. That's why they don't show you children. They're called so-called slavery movies. They never show children. Because even the hardest part would say, wait a minute, y'all did that to children? Because All the slaves were, they started out as children. They started the process when you was in the womb. By putting fear in the mother, they knew that you would chemically transfer that to this child. There's no mercy, and you still don't. Can a tiger change the stripes? As the Bible said, they're still the same. They haven't changed. But you got the demons trying to convince us, oh, everything's okay now. They've changed. I don't care if changed or not. We don't want to be around them. We didn't ask to be over here. We don't want this stupid system. We don't want your vote. We want your jobs. We want your housing. They also belong to us anyway. The earth is ours and the fullness thereof. Have you ever read that before? The earth belongs to us and the fullness thereof. Maker, owner, creator, planter, God, universe. That's what they don't want you to know. That's what Matt Farrakhan doesn't want you to know either. Understand, brothers, it's the hard cost. But let them keep forcing this slavery stuff on you. Yeah, I was maybe 1% of it. But look up slavery. See if it includes this, all the things you see in here. Slavery, torment, beating. See if it includes all that. It doesn't. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. We have a lot to talk about today. A lot to talk about today. I'm trying to keep it as short as possible. We have a lot to talk about. A lot to talk about. Okay, brothers and sisters, the hour. The hour. The shock of the hour. What is that all about? Well, we're going to explain it from the angel point of view. Because we've broken the seals, we're trying to explain the angel to you. But if you want to learn how to understand the angel, how to read it, how to learn from it, there are people that's qualified to teach you. A second, brother and sister, make an adjustment here. Trying to get used to this. Boy. Okay, that's a little better. Okay, let's get this okay. So like I said, we'll cover several topics here. Start with this one. Now here, we're talking about the Abrahamic covenant that most of you probably not aware of, because they don't want you to be aware of it. You got a lot of enemies don't want you to be aware of this covenant. The Sunnis don't want you to be aware of it. False Israel doesn't want you to be aware of it. America doesn't want you to be aware of it. Farrakhan doesn't. The demons don't want you to be aware of it. And when Martin Luther King, that was his last effort to try to get you to see it, so-called Promised Land speech, they blew his brains out the next day. Let's read this carefully. Now, the sun was going down and deep sleep fell upon Abram. Now, they call him Abram. There's only place called Abram in the covenant. That's very important, but I'm not sure we're going to go into all these kind of details here. And behold, terror and great darkness fell upon him. It was a vision of terror and great darkness. Vision of terror. See, that's what he saw. Terror for us. Then God said to Abram, know for certain that your sinners or seed should be seed, right? Will be strangers in land that is not theirs, where they will be enslaved and oppressed. See? If slavery include oppressed, then there wouldn't be have to say both. For 400 years, 1619 to 2019. But I will also judge that nation. That nation judgment began in 2020. The first judgment was the first plague. A plague that will kill the firstborn, meaning elderly, and pass over us, which it has. The World Health, I keep repeating this, World Health Organization, WHO, published a paper a while back, a couple of months ago, saying, maybe 3 months ago, saying that they didn't understand why it wasn't affecting Black Africa, Haiti, or other African countries. But they tell us we're dropping like flies over here. No, the demons, masters, black-faced children may have been dropping like flies on us. I'm kind of sick, but we don't die from it. There will be slaves and oppressed for 400. That land that's not ours. The Pharaoh said that land belongs to us. So, I mean, he said it belongs to us. God said it doesn't. So who you going to believe? But I will judge that nation, America's on judgment right now since 2020. That plague came in round time. That's evidence of the judgment. Whom they shall serve, and afterward they will come out with great possessions. That means if you go out with, you must have it already. After you, you shall go to your fathers in peace, buried at a good old age. Then the fourth generation, they try to tell you generation 30 years, whatever. It's biblically a generation 100 years. That fourth generation is the fourth, this generation here. They did the last 400 years, right? And the fourth generation returned here. Here means where Abraham had the vision at, which was in Arabia. But they trying to tell you here representing America. Abraham was not here in America. See, we returned here. But Pharaoh said, we're not going anywhere. So I guess God's lying again. I guess told Abraham a lie. He said, we're going to return back there where Abraham was at the time that this vision was given him, his contract was made for him. And when Pharaoh reads this, he reads it, but he never reads that last part. But we're going to return. He doesn't read that part, so that means conscious of guilt. He knows he's lying. Let's move on, brothers and sisters. And see, here's see here, same thing. They use the word horror. First, one translation says terror, another one says horror. And brothers and sisters, those who work with this program, you should try to find it. That's not. You try to find the translations that gives resonance to what we're talking about. Hope you understand that. We're not changing scriptures, right? We ain't do that, and we don't take it high. I'm saying the translation they use different translations. What you gonna do? What you gonna do about it? So it says the same thing, right? But it says they will serve them and they will afflict them. The other one says oppress. They say afflict. And it says, again, right, we return. Okay. Now, where are we going to return to? Because you got these clowns right now trying to tell you America is the promised land. America is the place they thought we're going to return to. Yeah, they try. I mean, they're doing everything they can to prop up the boys, you know, to prop up Farrakhan, to hoist him up, to buttress him up. Because they know they're lying, so they got, oh, we ain't going to, so you got to try to prove that, no, we ain't going nowhere because America is somehow Arabia. America's Arabia. And Mississippi River is Euphrates and all this bullshit. So let them keep on going. I don't care. It's a lie. And lie disappears at dawn. And Lord of dawn is here now. Now it came about when the sun had set, that it was very dark, and behold, a smoking oven, flaming torch appeared, which passed between the two pieces. That day the Lord made it come with Abram, saying, to your seed, I have given this land, from the river of Egypt as far as the great river, the river Euphrates. That's Arabia. Now this clown trying to say, well, that's the Mississippi Valley or something. Well, you don't waste time talking. They're fools. And we're not going to bark back at dogs, especially dumb dogs. We don't bark back at any dogs, but especially dumb dogs. They're some dumb dogs. And they got one of, I hate to even say it, one of Elijah Muhammad's offspring leading the pack. Ishmael, that boy's triple dumb. Triple darkness. Triple dumb. And he's a liar. And he's weak. And he's selling out his father's inheritance, his father's his father's name and everything for a 6 piece of silver from Farrakhan. Got some piece of house somewhere he don't own. You see, and other fringe benefits he getting to get up there and lie every day and undermine everything his father taught. Come out, Farrakhan is remained true to his father's teaching. A damn lie. Total triple lie. He's a goddamn lie. Liar. We can prove it instantly. We easily bring out, I was there with Elijah Muhammad, 70, 75. And everything he taught was not in the message of the black man. But beside that, you can just take the message of the black man, the lessons, and show right there immediately within a nanosecond that Farrakhan is not following those teachers. And I said, the devil is devil. He said, the devil ain't devil anymore. They can't be redeemed. He's going to redeem them. You know, we ain't going nowhere. Elijah Muhammad said we fools to stay here in the land of our imprisonment. We got them on tape saying, not transcripts. So who's faithful? Who's a liar? Who's a hypocrite? I'm still trying to get used to it. Okay. Okay, brothers and sisters. The investment. You're going to lose the part, Lou, here. Okay. What does it say in the Quran? When you have performed your devotions, Lord God, as you, Lord, your fathers. Some say Allah. Rather a more hearty lauding. There's some people say, our Lord, give us in the world, and such there's no portion hereafter. So in other words, if you invest your energy in this world, you're not getting it hereafter. There's no portion for you. See, you think money is where it is. See, no, energy is where everybody has the same amount of energy. How you invest your energy depends on you. Like I said, $1 million shit farm is equal to $1 million gold mine in quantity, not quality. But both of them are worth $1 million. So they make sure you don't buy the gold mine, you can buy the shit farm, because they control the quality of your energy. But if you take your energy and invest it, because you have an infinite amount, you have the same much as everyone else, and you invest it in this world's life, then you'll get it. But if you're not investing here, because you didn't invest in here, so you don't get to here. You can't get something you didn't invest in. If you're going north, you can't be going north and south at the same time. You got one or the other. So if you invest your energy in this world life, you'll get it. But you'll go down, this world life goes down, this world reality goes down too. But if you invest in new reality, that's what you're going to get. Because you're moving towards it. You're creating a time, you're creating that new reality. So right now, you're helping create this American dream, or you create a new reality. You can't do both. Like I said, no man can serve two masters. How you invest in your energy? The Levites, another story here. Okay. Now, when Moses saw that the people were out of control, for Aaron, Farrakhan, he's the one that's after Elijah. It tells you Exodus is past history because they're trying to blind you. They have blinded most of you because this is foresight to get you. That's why they write it. Like Elijah Muhammad said, future history, so you know what's going on and you know what's to follow. That's what Elijah Muhammad taught you. That's not what Farrakhan tell you. They tell us like past it, so you think that's in the past. So now you're blind because that was your foresight. So if you understand that, then you say, okay, the God came, then Moses came, and then Aaron will come with the seed of people turn their hearts back to Egypt. And then will come Joshua, which is also called Jesus. But they don't want you to see that. Oh, that's the past, whatever. Now, Moses saw that people were out of control for Aaron, Farrakhan, let them out of control. Farrakhan, that's me, right, talking. I'm saying, I add that in there. And let them get out of control to the point of being an object of ridicule before the enemies. Nation of Islam is coming, ridicule, joke. Moses then stood at the gate of the camp and said, whoever is with the Lord, come to me. And sons of Levi, gather to him. They're talking about Levites here. The Levites are not the seed of Abraham. The African tribe, you had 3 tribes. You had the Hindi tribe, the Levite tribe, and the tribe of Shabazz. Who was in the middle? Who was in Arabia? They was in what you call Africa. That's the Levites. Hindu Kush and everything, that's where Hindis were. But we was forced out of our land into Africa, so we was like guests there. But Levites was ruling it. That's their land. We was ruling their land. They're Levites. And they're priest tribe. But some of them got caught up in the net when they brought us over here. So it says Elijah raised them. He couldn't raise them. Lazarus, he raised them. Lazarus See, Abraham, the Levite's not. It tells you right here. Elijah, it tells you in the scripture, Elijah was a Levite also. So all of a sudden, Levi gathered to him, and he said, "This is what the Lord, the God of Israel, see, says: Every man you put his sword on his thigh and go back go back and forth from gate to gate in the camp and kill every man his brother, every man his friend, every man his neighbor." So the sons of Levi did as Moses instructed. About 3,000 men of people fell that day. The most of dedicate yourselves to the Lord, for every man has been against his son and against his brother, in order they may bestow a blessing upon you today. What is this talking about? Well, I'll make it clear to you. That's judgment. It's first judgment. See? And the result. See? That's Farrakhan. He's Aaron. He's going to cause this mess here. And those wasn't with Moses, they were with Farrakhan. He's the one that's cleaning up. See? And when he says, once they separate, he has to separate, right? So whoever with the Lord, whoever's with the Lord, come to me. Suleiman, angel, he's calling them. And then he arms them and tells them to wipe out all the ones that was against it. That's primarily the demons. Wipe them all out. There's a secondary message here, because he tells them, friends and neighbors don't matter. They're your brothers and sisters. You have to get them. See, there's a secondary message here. Because some people just don't understand. He's getting rid of everybody. You have to get rid of children. You have to get rid of all of them. They ain't with this mess. You got to get rid of them. But I've had people over the years, right? They claim it with the message. They really ain't. And one way I can tell, they still associate people that's against the message. They heard the message and no, this says you're supposed to get rid of them. So I'm not telling you to kill them. We're not talking about killing anybody. Right? Because like what the message did, he would just ban you out of the nation of Islam. If you associate with people you should be associated with that was thrown out of the nation or put on time or whatever, you found associated with them, you'd be thrown out too. Because you told you could not have contact with them at all, none. Give your mother, whatever. When he put Wallace out, he told Wallace. He told Wallace that he told Wallace that hold on, brothers and sisters. I may have lost my sound here. He told Wallace. I lost my sound here. He told, there you go. He told Wallace that he couldn't see his mother, he couldn't see his brother, anybody. Wallace admitted, you can't have any contact with anybody. Because why would you want to? Why would you want to? Because they already made their decision. The only conversation you probably have is to pull you out, because not to pull them back in. It's not your job to pull them back in anyway. See? So why are you still associated with them? So that's part of it. Because if you found, because you will be asked, you'll be questioned. If you found that you still associate with people that's heard the message and walked away from it, participate and walked away, right? If you have any contact with whoever, right, then you will be thrown out right along with them. No ifs, ands, and buts about it. There's no mercy, nothing. Because you've been told there's only one, they tell you there's only one shot here. They say, because it's like crucifying the Christ all over again. Once you hear it and then you reject it or you walk away from whatever, you don't get a second chance. Because it's like crucifying them all together. Because the suffering and everything he had to go through to get this message to you, then you playing games like that, and you associate people that's against him and say, either for me or you're against me. So if you still, you got family and friends, right? See? In this case, they said, but I'm not saying that, you're not supposed to, nobody's saying you're supposed to just walk up with your family and your friends. right? Well, if they've been participating in this message and they claim they accept or they reject it, see, because most of our people haven't rejected because they never heard it. Once they reject it, right, then they're due. Don't get a second chance. No second chances. You better read scriptures again. Hope everybody better hear that. This judgment is not a joke. Like I said, 144,000, they had no blemishes. No blemishes at all. They was 100%. They weren't associated with anybody who was against this message any kind of way. So if you're doing that and it comes to light, you're through. Ain't no ands and buts about it. And the thing is, we had people doing the message this time, and we had clowns that go out there. Hey, bro, I know you got time, man, but we still, bro. We still together, man. I'm still down with you. See, they knew they wasn't supposed to be doing that. And what happened? Their friend would go and report their ass. I've seen it happen over and over again. They brought their ass down. See? Because they didn't want to be in there anyway. They expect you shouldn't be in here. And so they get your ass kicked out. Because if they're not with this message, but if they heard it, then what kind of kinship you got with them? Unless you one of them. And you on your way out. Because if it comes light, you on your way out, period. So if that's what's happening, you cease and desist immediately. Total, because here, it's total separation, because they wipe them out. So then, total severance. You've been told, brothers and sisters. You don't understand. Some of you don't understand. I mean, people over the years, I got some people right now. I got people that other people don't know about because they don't want to be made public because they're scared to lose their job and stuff. Okay. I made it clear to everybody. I'm making it clear now. This here is making it clear. If you ain't with the Lord's teachings, they wipe you out. Their family, they don't care your brother, your sister, nothing. They wipe you all out. Period. See? So they tell you that. And you're going to tell them, you can do that? You can do that. Right? But you can't just separate yourself from your lifelong buddy, your lifelong sister, your lifelong, my sisters, your little cut buddies or whatever y'all call them, right? Same thing about you can't, that's my boy, that's my girl. But you can do this. Now notice they're telling the Levites here. I've been telling you, the Nation of Islam under Elijah Muhammad, those Levites, they're not us. They're Levites. Take notice of that. Because Lazarus hasn't been raised yet. That's only 44,000. The Levites, it's a priest tribe. But they failed their mission. Because they're supposed to prepare the way for the mission of the covenant. They didn't. Instead, they built mansions for Farrakhan and whatever. So now they got to go read Mark, demon-possessed man. And now they got to go to the tribulation. See? And all of them going through it. You got to understand, brothers and sisters, this is no joke. You think, oh man, you're going to talk your way out of it? Well, you might want to lose your tongue. Because if you start talking after you told not to talk, then you lose your tongue. And we ain't no dictators over here. See? But the point is, we have to decide who's going, who ain't going. And we're going to build a kingdom that's going to last forever. So we got to be perfect. If you got flaws, you better get those flaws out of the way really fast. Think it's a joke. Right? It tells you got to be the last book of life. And that book, boy, that book is, See? Won't be no flaws in it. Better read Malachi. He purified them. Remove all flaws. Now then you go into here after whatever BS. Not going to happen. We want brothers and sisters. So we're going to cover a lot of topics here. Armageddon. When they say peace and safety, then sudden destruction comes upon them, as labor pains upon a pregnant woman, they should not escape. Now that labor pains upon a pregnant woman. Now those who study angel have some idea what that means. That gives the key to what this verse means. What the destruction is. Those who don't know the angel, it's not going to make sense to you. So we're going to show. Labor pains upon a pregnant woman. Remember that it says flee, says time of desolation, says woe to those women giving pregnant in birth. Right? This is talking about the same thing. Hold on, just 1 second here. So that's the key to understanding this verse here. Because this is something that's been happening a minute. Because it's what happened before the destruction. Now, some people was thinking that was so-called Abraham Accords, right? But that didn't bring peace, right? Because they still have some, well, I'm not going to go into that. But the thing is, some people kind of had some kind of idea what was going on. But maybe that's what they're talking about, because peace is breaking out in the Middle East. Right, but they also say that a few years back when they had so-called Abrahamic Arab Spring, they called it, where Arabs rose up and they started getting rid of so-called dictators and stuff like that. But no, because this would proceed as this destruction would be as labor pains upon a pregnant woman. So those who understand angel knows that means it's going to happen just now. It's going to happen in a few more days before Armageddon. This will precede Armageddon. This thing here, this will precede Armageddon. Okay. So we're going to show a couple of graphics here. You see this? Oops. This is angel key. Okay? Now what I'm showing is, did I miss something here? I did. Okay. I'm showing at the point where the Shia, Iran and Syria, they're the ones, they're Michael's iron, rod of iron, right? Because iron represents European countries, and they're the Islamic part of it, right? They got European blood, but their fathers is original is like Master Muhammad. They're like him. See, and he's their 12th Imam. So at this point, I'm not sure what particulars, but at this point, they rose up. So now they back in charge. That's called mid-heaven. See, Earth is below them, and the heavens are above them. They're called mid-heaven. Chapter 19, they refer to as mid-heaven, right? Middle East. Because they're between like the Middle East and Europe. The Iran is like between the Middle East and Europe, basically, in a general sense. Right? So, at this point, the war is taking place, the war in heaven, Michael's angels. They cast out the demon, the dragons and its angels, which are Gog, Magog, and Antichrist. That's America, Britain, and false Israel. So they cast back down out of mid-heaven, because they wasn't in heaven, they cast down. I'm not showing all that here. But I'm going to get to my main point. That presentation explains all. And see here? Right there. Now after the war, they get kicked out. After the war, they get kicked out of the Middle East. That's chapter 18. They kicked out. See, that's how they get kicked out. They got to understand the angel key for that. When they kicked out, right? Now they got something under them. That's when they're pregnant. They're pregnant. It's not talking about if a woman is actually pregnant. They're talking about that's angel language. See? So it was this peace what happened just before this. See? As women, that's their destruction. Because they're in destruction mode right there. That's the war of Armageddon right there. So right now we have a thing called wars and rumors of wars in Ukraine. Because everybody's worried right now. Everybody, they got a lot of the world anxious all over the world. I know the Negro butts here, they're not anxious because they're in the eye of the hurricane. They think everything's okay. So the hurricane moves, tear their ass up because they don't believe anything. Farrakhan's got them going. Oops. Farrakhan's got them deceived, tell them they ain't going anywhere. That was got them going, everybody's got them going. See. They heads up NFL and NBA. If they violence and NBA demons and carrying on, all over the news. What do you think? Who do you think those people are in Master's house? Those house Negroes. They're demons. They're Master's children. Acting, politics, sports, commentators. They're all in Master's house. They start talking against Master and they won't be there. They ain't gonna let nobody like me get up there, tell you the truth about what's going on. So see, that's what's talking about here. See? They're in destruction mode now because they're at war. See America there? They're in a fight between Eastern and Western Europe. That's the Armageddon. That's Armageddon there. Falls Israel hasn't been taken down yet. That's abomination, desolation. Hasn't been taken down yet. See? That's what it's talking about. So, if you put those things together, that means since everybody's so anxious about, because they actually talk nuclear war and everything in Ukraine, but that's not it. That's not going to trigger Armageddon. That falls on the category of wars and rumors of wars. See, so following this, that means they're going to have pretty soon, because all this going to happen within a year, within the next 12 months. I'd say the next 13 months, right? But they say it's going to be a ceasefire, because if there's a ceasefire, all this anxiety goes away, so everybody's excited. Even they say the economy is affected by that, and inflation is affected by that, and there's going to be a nuclear war, and you got people like Rick on the news side, he's expecting to be a nuclear war by August, and everybody's, people have blood pressure rise and everything else. Except for you Negro butts out there, we're trained by Master not to believe, not to self-destruct, to believe anything Master tell you, do whatever he tells you to do, don't think. So whatever he puts in front of your plate, you eat. Chitlins. So you're not aware of anything. But we're going to raise you up because you're Lazarus asleep. That's what that means, brothers and sisters. So my interpretation of that, my studies, and there's going to be a ceasefire soon. And say, well, as soon as that happens, then their destruction comes. It says, when they say peace and safety, sudden destruction comes upon them. So they say, so peace agreement, right? But what you understand is what causes this to happen. What causes it to happen is that war in the Middle East. Once they have this ceasefire, that's when the war in the Middle East breaks out. That causes America to be in that position, and Ukraine for a position to be in a situation where they're pregnant. See? And that's the position where they destroy that. Hope I made that clear enough, brothers and sisters. Ceasefire, because everybody's nervous, everything. Oh man, now we're going to be peace. Peace is going to be okay. Peace, security. We ain't got to worry about nuclear war. As soon as it happens, war breaks out in the Middle East. It's like that. Which caused America and Britain to be defeated and put in this position you see right here. Where, from an energy point of view, they're pregnant. And that's their destruction mode. But now America is at war with East and Western Europe, because I already explained this in a previous presentation. America's NATO friends, partners are going to turn against them. for oil reasons. Because the oil supplies are shut off. Because only the major oil suppliers is Russia and the Middle East. But now the Middle East is closed because now that she has total control of the oil in Arabia, oil in Iran, all that have total control of it, but they won that battle. So now they cut Europe off because they was assisting America because they enacted Article 5 rather, where they have to help each other. And so America was actually the aggressor because they was helping false Israel. See? And so now they lost. Iran turns off the spigot. So now the only source of oil, because it says they're going to crash overnight. We're going to talk about that in a minute. They will crash overnight. The Western European economy will crash overnight because oil is cut off. And the only source of oil they have, any timely matter, is from Russia. And why would Russia get oil to fight them back? So if they want to survive, maintain, because they weren't on the side by this war to begin with. They turned on America to get that oil from Russia to keep the economy going because the economy collapsed. You understand, brothers and sisters? The hour. What's this hour? Well, if you go to the angel, look at all the places they talk about the hour, then you can understand what's going on. Because all this thing happens in the hour incorporates it's 1 year period. 1 year period. We almost, the first half will be silence. First 6 months will be silence. The problem is it's hard to pin down when that starts. So just if you say it started in January, that means it would include June for part of the silence. That means the silence will be broken in July. That's it. The war will happen any day now. But if it happened in December, the war will start this month. But it's hard to pin down because you don't know exactly, right, when that starting point is. We know it's doing that somewhere between November and February. We know that. And I'm pretty confident it's probably most likely January. That means war will start next month. But I can't say it effectively. I mean, truly, because I don't know. Because the only one knows is matched by Muhammad. Right? The actual daytime is very close. The hour. And what I did was I went through Angel. Look at every place the hour was mentioned. See if they're all connected, and they are. Because the hour, remember, 6 months is gone. Almost 6 months is gone. So if they come out January, that means the end of this month. That's 6 months. That means the war will break out next month. It's going to break out in the next couple of months. I'm sure of that. Right? So I went there and see what they had to say about it. Because these would be the events that would happen at that time. So in chapter 3, be you keep in mind, therefore, how you have received and heard, and be you keeping, repent. If ever, therefore, not you should stay awake, I shall come as thief, and that you should know whatsoever hour I shall come upon you. So it's telling you, during that hour, that's when he's going to, excuse me. Condolences. Oh, a good message. Let's see. Let me get rid of this. No, it's not always going. 6 months is already gone. Almost 6 months gone. If it started in January, this month we're going in this month. So what it's talking about, this album said hours a year period. So that means he's going to show up, right, in the last 6 months of this period. I'm saying, like I said, it's a guesstimate because you can't pin out exactly when it starts. I'm confident it starts somewhere either December, January, or February, somewhere in there. I'm closer to thinking January, which means the war will start next month. Because if it started in December, that means the war will start this month. So it's telling you that's when he's going to show up. See? You should know what sort of hour should come upon you. Because it's telling you got to keep locking the hour. So it's the second part. It's still chapter 3. Because you observe the word endurance to me, and you I shall observe out of our temptation being about to come upon the inhabitant whole to tempt the inhabitants on earth. Now, this is transliteral translation. That's why it sounds kind of quirky. Because the King James Version, they put their translation, their understanding, or their into the translation. Into the translation. See? So, but they don't understand the angel. So how the hell they can put that in there when it says no one can understand until the seals are broken? So you can't trust it. But transliteral, all they did was just take the word from one language and put the word, corresponding word in another language. It says every language have a different flow and rhythm, and it's going to sound kind of quirky. Behold, you observe the word endures me, and I shall observe out of our temptation. Think about, in other words, it happens. That's about us, because we live on the earth in European countries. So what's talking about here? Okay, now these Christians, most of the Christians, right, blacks, right, and the demons, they've been told that when this war breaks out in the Middle East and all this stuff, right, that means Jesus coming. In other words, when it's false Israel going to go down, see, they've been told that you see that means Jesus is going to come because he's going to save them. Because when they're in worse trouble, when they down, almost down and out, they'll call on Jesus, right? Because the Jews hate Jesus, right? That's what they say, right? They say he's in hell, balled in his shit and piss. That's what they say. So read, Google it. I don't take my word for it. Google it. That's what they say. So why I love him so much when the Muslims honor and respect Jesus, but they curse him, but yet still they hate the Muslims. They love Jews who hate their God, but hate the Muslims that supposedly love their God, right? That shows a lot of bullshit going on there, brothers and sisters. So they thinking, it's talking, I know scripture, I didn't look it up, I forgot to get it, but they're praying for this war because they say that means Jesus coming back. Because they're going to be down on E. When they just about to be destroyed, they're going to call on Jesus, then they're going to convert, then Jesus will come back, Islamic, valiant, powerful, right? And save his people, follow Israel, and kill all the Muslims and everybody else that was opposing them. That's been told. So when they see this happen, when the war breaks out, that's why it says in Exodus, it says, Moses said he heard a sound of war, but it wasn't a sound of victory or defeat. Everybody was rejoicing. They was rejoicing because, man, finally, Jesus going to come back. He'll be back in a minute, too, and all that stuff. And the worse it gets for false Israel in the war, the more happy they're going to be because they say, because they're going, as soon as they call on Jesus, that's it. We all going to heaven and all that stuff. See, that's our temptation. But see, those people that know the truth, no one will be fooled by that. They don't be tempted by that. See, they don't really get to the American dream and everything. Goes right there, man. Hey, because Christianity, they're gonna be deep into it then. Because now, hey, man, this is what Jesus was talking about. Man, he's about to come, man. That's what that's talking about right there. But you be saved out of it. See, those of you who've been paying attention. Then, eighth chapter, whenever you open up the sixth seal, the seal of the seventh, heard sounds in heaven. That's half an hour. That sounds told you about. So it means the first half hour, that 6 months, be silence. Now I explain that in detail in another presentation. I'm not going to do it here. Right? That's what's going on. It's silence. It's 6 months period. It's a little complicated. I don't know if I should get into it or not, but a 6 month period just before the war starts. That's silence. There's a lot more detail than I'm telling you. Anyway, it's 6 months is talking about half, because it's that hour represents a year. Half of it, right? 6 months. Be silence before the Great War. Chapter 9. Now I told us about the sixth angel trumpeted, heard a voice out of the horns of the altar and golden sight God, saying the sixth angel having a trumpet, Lucifer angels having been bound upon the river Euphrates. Now remember he said my sixth angel, that sixth angel had a trumpet. Now there's probably 7 trumpets. And he said the first one go, then the second one go, third, fourth. But this telling you, pay close attention. It says no. The first four was released by the sixth one. That's what I've been telling you. The first four, those are four winds. They weren't released yet. It didn't go 1, 2, 3, 4. Like it goes 5, 6. Then the sixth one released the first four. Then the seventh one go. That's the proper, because that's what's telling you. He released them. So he had to be 6 trumpets, one to release the first four. Those first four are the winds. That's telling you right here, right? And during that time, right, on the great river Euphrates. Okay. I'm gonna leave that there because that's another topic altogether about it in a minute. This won't take too much long here. Okay. Now we're always talking about chapters have an hour in it. Now all these things right here is happening. That's it right here. That's it. Oh, let me back up here. Did miss something. So this is 4 winds. So it said these 4 winds are going to blow during the 6-month period. So if the war starts in July next month, that means within that last 6 months, this is going to happen. That means all these things going to happen so fast. It says Babylon's whole destruction will take it just one day or 1 hour, 12 months. Whole destruction, then end with burning fire. 6 months. We're silent. That means always going to be present 6 months. So when it happens, it's going to happen so fast. Those of you who haven't been paying attention, something's going to be lost because it happens so fast. You can't keep up. Your mind's going to be able to keep up. Your mind's going to short circuit because it happens so fast and you ain't ready and you have no idea what's going on, right? So you're going to gloom on to these preachers and everything, hoping to figure out what's going on. They don't know, and they're hell bound because they're one of the first ones to be judged when Suleiman steps up. God promised he would be in their shoes. The shoes made gold and silver, because all these preachers out here, Jeff O'Donnell and T.A. Jakes and all these clowns and right black face devils, the demons, woo. They'll be made popsicles by their own congregation on every corner. They're popsicle. See, so you figure out what that means. All it's going to happen in a 6-month period, brothers and sisters. After silence over, then this is 11, right? And after 3 days and a half, the spirit of life of God came to them. Now, because I explain that, but we have the president explain exactly what that means. And great fear fell upon the beholding them. Yeah, and that's what that fear is all about too. And I heard the voice out of heaven saying, "Step up, you here." They stepped up in heaven, the cloud and held the enemies of them. And that hour, in 6 month period, we're talking about once the war starts, which should be in a month or so, occurred, shaking great. It means that's the war. People translate earthquake. No, shaking great war. Until the city fell. We're going to show you what that means. And killed the shaking men. And his men 7,000. And the leftover fear gave glory to God in heaven. What was the second went off? No, the war third is coming quickly. What does that mean? It means that the war broke out. So here's the angel key again. So I didn't show this before, but here, this is where she is right now. I showed, when they was up top and everything. They haven't got there yet because the JCPOA has been scuttled. So now they hear, and watch, Andrew said during this period, they would play plagues. When this period, when after JCPOA, there will spread plagues upon the earth. That's when COVID came in. Right after they got rid of JCPOA, the plague, I never talked about that before, but it's right there. I mean, I can't cover everything. It's right there. Read it. It says they had power. So you're saying they didn't want to cause COVID? I ain't saying that. That's not important at this point. The point is, it says that will be happening. Right? It says they would be responsible somehow. Right? It says because that's where it would be during this period of time. Right after JCPOA, and that's when it came in. Right after that, because JCPOA was canceled by Trump in 2018, in about 6 months. Let's see, we can pin down 6 months from there. We know exactly when he did it. See? And COVID came out what? a year and a half later, 2020. This is where they are right now. So this is shaking. So they're pushing against America. Iran's pushing against America. See, it says the Shia and Michael are going to start the war. See, because they're going to anticipate. They're not the aggressive here, but it's false Israel right now is planning, actively planning. They're making it public to attack false Israel. Attack Iran. They already said they're going to do it. They said they're too close to. They said right now they got enough nuclear fuels. They're going to attack. They're already planning. They got to exercise and everything else. And anybody expect to happen any day now. See, but they're committed to it. And America's committed to it now because they're saying, well, they're giving false Israel the green light because they can't get Iran back to JCPOA, right? And I told you they was not going back to it. I told you that years ago they wasn't going back to it. So that in 2018, they weren't going back to it. They haven't. They said that a peace agreement is going to be signed, or ceasefire or whatever. And I can go into more details about that, but when the ceasefire happens, right, that's going to trigger the war in the Middle East. So that what false Israel going to say, okay, well, they're not doing it over there, so I'm going to attack now. What? You'll see. So I'm not one of those watch the weather guys. Oh, I messed up. Okay, see here? War started. And now Iran is pushing America, because America and false Israel and Britain had ascended to heaven, and they kicked them out. Okay? Make God false Israel, they drag and defeat it. See here? And now, we said the 10th of the city fell. Okay. You got 12 rows there, right? Count from the top, right? So the Shia, that's the 10th one. Because one's been removed, but we'll talk about that in a minute. So they're 10th one down. That's what means 10th city fell. That's what it's talking about. That's talking about 10th city fell. You understand, Angel Key, understand these things, brothers and sisters. Calm down, that's 10. That's what it means. And then it says what? That's what it means 10, because they moved up. That's the art. See, we delivered. When you see that configuration, that means the Shia didn't come over here. We're the elected 140,000, so we went over there, so we're over there now. We're delivered, time, unprecedented trouble. Because that's the war. Armageddon, that's time, unprecedented trouble, and that's what we delivered out of here. See? Because they had war, the wars moved them from the Middle East to Armageddon, right? So that means they moved up, so that 10th city is gone. 10th city is gone, because they moved out there. And then it says 7, so what's left? You got 7,000, you add these up, 7,000. So these are the ones, right, that ended up being destroyed. That's that fourth kingdom. Not destroyed right away, it's going to be destroyed. So let's talk about brothers and sisters. I'm not going to any detail about that. Then it says, this is 14, chapter 14. I saying in voice great, fear you to God, give you to him glory, because came the hour to judge him. That means during this 6 period, this 6 month period, that's a judgment. Actually, the whole period is a judgment, right? But silence includes the judgment also. But in this case, but it's during this period of time. So in other words, you're going to see the judgment take actual form, right, in the next 6 months when the war starts. See, and then in the same chapter it says, another angel went forth down to habitation, crying out, voice great to setting upon the cloud, that's mass from Muhammad, setting upon the cloud, send you a sickle and you have harvest, because it came the hour to harvest. See, because it was dried up to harvest the earth. You was setting upon the cloud, sickle him upon the earth, harvest was harvest the earth. That means one sent a cloud, mass from Muhammad, and he delivers us. See, He's delivering us. See? He's harvesting us. We're the first fruits. He's harvesting us from right here. See, they tell me we going nowhere, we staying here. They stand here. They right about that. We going. Says Michael is going to deliver. Well, he's the deliverer. Where's he delivering us to? If he's not right, then we got two deliverers. So if we're not going anywhere, he's delivering us too. So Mississippi someplace? Okay, this is chapter 17. And the 10 horns you saw are 10 kings they are, who kingdom not as yet received, but authority of kings 1 hour to receive with the wild beast. Now, I'm not going to detail here, but I'm going to explain a couple of things. I explained in the previous presentation about the transfer of power. Now, it talks about this dragon has 7 heads and 10 horns. And crowns was upon his heads. That's European countries. See, there's 7 heads. European countries, they had authority in the world now. But when they get to fighting each other, Armageddon, they start destroying each other. Remember, they destroyed each other's navies, the armies, and everything else. So now that gives, that empowers China and India. They become the world powers. That's what I'm talking about right here. It said that will also happen in the next 6 months. Like I said, you're going to the next 6 months. Once that war breaks out, whether this month or next month, the worst case is, I can't see it going past July. But when it breaks, all this stuff will happen. Because it says America's troubles, everything going to take place in 1 year. And they should be burned down in the fire within that 1 year. So all these things happen so fast. It's going to happen so fast, bro. See, all things happen fast, but it's going to happen so fast. So if you ain't on tune with it, or you ain't on board with it, right? Your brain may be crushed, but you ain't gonna be able to keep up with it. And you have no idea what to do. You're confused and you're under attack. Okay, this is chapter 18. In chapter 18, it's talking about Yahweh has come, right? See? That's judgment 1 hour. And then it talks about, well, there should be another one there. I missed it somewhere. Just leaving someone's blood. Okay. Anyway, this is talking about total collapse of Western Europe. We're talking about. I told you the economic collapse because they cut off from Europe, they cut off from the Middle East oil supplies, and now they're at war with Russia, so Armageddon. So Russia only supplied they have access to, and now that's cut off because they're war with Russia now. And so the economy's collapsed. The economy's totally collapsed. Totally collapsed. It's not American economy, that's their economy. Totally collapsed. So much for years. I got the presentation out there. So it totally collapsed. And result, the only way they can recover, they can't get oil from America, even if they couldn't get it in any meaningful, timely way, because it couldn't come by planes, come by ship, it take weeks. And how do you know the Russians will intervene and take them out? Because they're not going to let them come out and get oil, so they can attack them back. So they can't even fight, they don't have any oil. How are they going to do that military? So what they do is they make a deal. They line themselves up with Russia. They turn on America. That's what will happen. That's chapter 18. I'll leave it there. Okay, brothers, I guess I covered it. I guess that covers everything. I talked about, okay, let me talk about a couple of things and we're going to close out. A couple of things we'll close out. Let's see here. Hold on here, brothers. Oops. What happened? I'm going just for a minute here. A couple of things and we close out. Oh, that's it. Okay, do it that way. Well, I'm going sisters a second here. Oh, okay, there you go. Your brothers and sisters. Shock of the hour. We went into this very quickly. But you have many people out there that are doing everything they can to reject it. They're not successful. You see the so-called Nation of Islam. It's not Nation of Islam. It's not. They call it Nation of Islam. They're building a nation. That's a lie in itself. Farrakhan's gotten rich, and they so-called Nation of Islam is broke. He don't have any money. All the money went in his pocket. He's a liar and a fraud. But we need to get you back home, brothers and sisters. But we're not gonna force you. We're not gonna force you. That's not gonna happen. The only helping hand you're gonna get is from these teachings, and you applying them. Nobody's gonna pick you up and take you home. You have to get yourself in the Lamb's Book of Life. You have to take and decide how you want to apply your energy. The sisters are a special case. If they drown in a cesspool and they lift their hand out, try to want to get out, then we'll grab their hand and pull them out. We owe that to them. We owe them much more than that. What about lies? The fact that we're not all demons is because of them. It was up to the devils, we were all demons now. They caught the worst of it. Because we didn't have nobody to beat on. But we still, you know how frustrated we get now? You know how frustrated we get now over little bullshit? Right? Oh man, I lost my job. Oh man, I can't buy a steak. Man, I can't get the money to go to the game. And we get frustrated over little bullshit like that, right? Then we go to whacking on the sisters. Yeah, you know you do it. So what was you doing back there when you was totally frustrated? When master's just kind of kicking your ass and work you 24/7 and you ain't got nobody, you can't fight back. But you got that sister you can beat on. And you did it. And some of you still doing it now. So they caught the worst of it. But they still hung on in there. They hung in there with us. And some are still hanging with us now. They love us. They don't know why. I don't know why either sometimes. Because we don't deserve their respect, at least not yet. We will in a minute. When we take down this devil and this whole civilization, we're going to have their respect again. That's going to happen. But you're about to be the adversaries you never made anything before. Because the world has never seen an energized black person. Oh, they ain't never seen that. They seen in our worst state, naked, powerless, Negro butts. They haven't seen the gods yet. They said no man can see God and live. Because once our God will come back, they cannot live. They cannot. They cannot survive it. No way. No way. They can't. But they don't know what to make of it. It's like you got a man running around out in the wild with the monkeys, right? And he's just like a monkey. It's like them. So everybody think, hey, he living like a monkey, right? Then one day, man, something lightning about him. He stand up like a man, like he's supposed to be. And all of a sudden, what the hell? Monkey's looking, what the hell is that? He's standing up, talking, right? He's doing this. He making tools. What the hell is going on with that thing? See, they thought you was a monkey before that. Because you was out there monkeying, doing the same thing they were doing. You was a monkey man. And then somehow you got back to your humanity and they couldn't understand it. I mean, they couldn't make sense of it. You're way beyond them. And that's the way it's going to be when you God is parents, you brothers and sisters. It's going to be exactly like that. Exactly like that. Because they ain't going to understand it. You be tuned in, right? You got powers that they never considered, right? Then you have active control of the weather. Right now, you got passive control of the weather. You're doing it, you don't know how you're doing it. You're affecting the weather, you don't realize how you're doing it. But then you got active control. Elijah Muhammad talks about that. See, then you're the God of the universe. You make things happen. I'm not saying you Darth Vader, you could say, force. Who knows, maybe you might be able to. I'm not going to go there. But you're going to be it says you'll be totally transformed in a blink of an eye. So you'll know what you'll be, but you'll be like him. You'll be totally something different. You won't sleep anymore. You won't think about it. You'll be something totally different that they cannot achieve. See, even if they cannot achieve it. Even if they had, see, now the devils, if they applied the wisdom that they was taught and followed everything, they become the most powerful angels possible. They still can't make that transformation. No matter the most powerful devil out there, if they're most disciplined, they still can't make that transformation because they don't have the ability to do it. It ain't in them. They can be powerful angels, but they can't make that transition that we're about to make. You know, from the coal to diamond, the coal sets just sitting there, black coal, just sitting there. And then, you know, transformation takes place a twinkle of an eye. They may say, what, it's a billion years, or 10,000 million years with the coal under that pressure, depending on how much pressure it is. And then a twinkle of an eye returns. 1 minute, 1 second is gold, coal, next second is diamond. It's called something different. That's about to happen, you brothers and sisters. That's about to happen, and they can't make that transformation. See, under that kind of pressure, the pressure that transforms us to diamonds crushes them. That's about to happen, you brothers and sisters. See? That's about to happen. But we're not going to allow it to happen to you renegades out there. See, because we're guarding you. Some of you not going to get out here. See, because we're going to leave you here to fight out with Satan. See, that's why he has in the Lamb's Book of Life. He's make sure nothing leaves out of here that ain't right, 100%. That's one of the reasons why it was set up like this, to be trapped in America. At that point, you won't be able to get out of here. There will be, when that war breaks out, everything, you ain't gonna be able to get no passport out of here. You run to Africa, it's too late then, the door's closed. You're trapped here. Only way out of here is when you got a ticket from the Lamb, you got transportation from the conductor. Man, that's why Muhammad. He only takes those in the book. Those left behind, right? You got two cases, right? Those who make it through tribulation positively, everlasting life. Those that don't, everlasting shame and torment. Because if you was rejected by the Lamb before you went through tribulation, then you might as well stay in it. Because when you come out, you got something worse than that. You're gonna wish you back in tribulation. We're not playing with you, brothers and sisters. If you take and you playing the games here, we know the demons, they have no choice. So you have no choice. We ain't mad at you. You have no choice. You can't get out of here. We don't want you. Master wants you. You're going to war with him in a few more days. You're going to war with him in a few more days. 5 months war. That's cuts things pretty short, don't it? You're going to war with him in a few more days because you ain't going to leave with us. I'm telling you, other folks out there. See, you Erics and all, Seventh Danger and all that shit, right? Hurting our people with your bullshit. You're blocking its light, casting a dark shadow. That people walk around blinding because you won't let the light through, because you're blocking it. Well, their blood's in your hands, and boy, you're not going to wash that blood off ever. Your children ain't going to wash it off. Your children choose not to wash. It says everlasting shame and torment. See, you don't know about the time. It's not Investment Blackman, is it? It's not a fall of America, is it? It's not how I say it's right, is it? But let's talk about the time. It ain't in there. And anybody that's around is still around. I'm one of the few that's still left around. Ask about the tyrants. See if that's in any of those books. You don't know about that. A lot of things you don't know about, I could tell you, because I was there. So you keep walking on talking about National Black Man is the last final book. Fine. So I think that's it, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. If you show up, harmony sisters, you better make peace with them. You're in trouble. Show up with the devil, you're in trouble. They ain't going to forgiveness to you. Now, I know these licenses is difficult. A lot of them. They have a right to be difficult. I'm a witness to difficulties out there. I've had it. You know, I'm a difficult person to get along with anyway. So, I mean, under any circumstance, I'm a difficult person to get along with because I'd rather be myself. I'm a hermit by nature. See? So I'm not blaming on the females. I know I'm difficult to begin with. I'm lucky to even have a female, tell you the truth. But I ain't beating on her. See? I've been accused by other people. I know what you go through, brothers. I know some of these sisters out here. A lot of them are demons. I know what they do. But brothers and sisters, pay attention, pay close attention. Don't be a part of the problem. They playing you. They playing these sisters, tell you they would go after the sisters because they got that maternal instinct that they're using against them, against us. That's how they got the demons in. Because see, they raped the sister. Now she knows she got a devil in her, but half is half her too. So she's gonna love it. They want you to love it. That's how they got the demons through. They was able to walk around unrecognized for 600 years in the dark until I came to expose them clearly. Legion, Louis Eugene Grounds, NOI backwards. You can't make that up. That's Farrakhan. Google him. His picture's out there. His father's the devil. Percival Clark. Show you a picture of him. They used to take it and turn out men into punks. It ain't the sister's fault. If there's no man around, how the child gonna learn how to act? He has to learn how to act. He has to learn how to be a man. He don't know. He's like he has to learn how to talk. He's not gonna come back and start teaching Arabic. That's his natural language. He's gonna learn the language that you hear you speaking. So all he sees is mom. He says his mom is actually going to start trying to act like his mom because that's the only way he knows. Then he's a drag queen or something. Or he's a psychological homosexual carrying on because he's trying to be like mom. It ain't his fault. That's all he knows. He ain't got a father around to show him how to pose act. And if he's around, then some of these females want to put the father down and emasculate him, right? So then the child looking at a punk. We got to stop this. We're gonna put an end to it. I'm not blaming you, brothers and sisters. This is you're targeted. The self-destruct. Remember I told you the robust program to self-destruct? That's self-destructive behavior. Destroying your nation, destroying your children. Then you can't understand why they're acting like that, why they're in jail, why they're doing these things they're doing. They're not criminals by nature, the demons are. So I'm not talking about those. I'm talking about the ones that's aberrant behavior. They act like they're women. I mean, I told you when the men and women got separated, the women took the beauty and the men took the strength. So you got a child growing up, a man child, he needs strength, but he ain't got no strength. All he got is the beauty. So now he's running around trying to be like a woman, drag queen. He's trying to emulate the beauty. That's all he sees. And it goes worse ways. If a woman is raised by a man, then she's like a little tomboy out there. She's like a called bulldog and everything. She don't know how to deal with women. She's trying to be more man than female because she don't know how to be a female because she didn't learn. She didn't have a female role model. And these demons out there, they're giving you, look what they're giving you. Look at the role models they're giving you. Children grow up watching that stuff and you can't control these kids. They're on TV, all of them, they talking, cursing, talking back to their mother and father. That's that Cosby shit. Don't you see this stuff that's affecting you? So be wise, brothers and sisters. Get out of that heart zone. Get in that mind zone. Get a step ahead of this thing. We get out here, all this gonna be straightened out. But get on the case now, because I mean, because some of our children are gonna be so messed up that we can't accept them. So don't be a victim to this BS. They're using this. That's how they come out. That says in Genesis, they come out to Eve. They come out to female because they use that maternal instinct. Because she go out and protect the child. My mother tried to protect me from my father. He was hardcore, but she passed away when I was 9 years old. I had no protection. I was totally exposed for 5 years of total hell. I ain't called the Holocaust, but boy, ooh. I wouldn't want to go through that again. I don't think if they passed, I wouldn't get my ass kicked. And I wasn't a bad child. At least I didn't think I was. But then he passed at 14. I was on my own. And I was ready for the world. See, think about that. Here you are, you in a barn. You raise your child in the barn. Outside, man, it's the jungle. Lions and apes and monkeys, gorillas and snakes and everything else, right? But you got them safe and secure in this barn. And you teach them, hey, man, everything's okay, right? And as soon as he get up old enough, he go out there. And then he get ate up because he ain't ready for what's out there. You protect him, but you're going to protect him all your life. Once he out there, but then he get all messed up, you can't understand why. Because you ran the father away that was preparing for dealing with those lions and tigers and gorillas and stuff. But no, he's real nice. Getting it femicide and everything else. Okay, Mom, can I go out now? Well, you a man now, I guess so. I mean, I can't tell you. Then he go out there, next thing you know, man, right? He's lying shit. Well, sisters, if you're studying, right, waking up and use your head, get out that part zone. I know it's hard for these sisters. It's nothing to speak against you because they use your maternal instinct. And in this type, that's why the Quran says a man's degree above woman, because in this type of environment, you have to listen to the man because we're at war. And your maternal instinct goes against that. You're not preparing your children for war. Once we get out here, they're equal. Because if you, like, for instance, if you put a man and a woman in a beauty contest, woman's going to win. But if you put her in a fighting in a ring, the man's going to win. So he's in his environment, he's a degree above you, but in your environment, you degree above him. So we're at war state. So he's more prepared for war than you are. That's why it says he's a degree above, because you got to listen to him in a war state. Now, I mean, I'm not saying these sisters can't battle, because we got them hardcore set that can battle. I'm from Newark, I know, right? I ain't talking about that. I mean, these sisters they still warriors. You don't want to go to war with them, right? But they can't go to war with the brothers. They can't because brothers got the strength. We don't want sister and brother going to war against each other. We don't want that. See? But these sisters, they're warriors. No, don't get me wrong. And when we go to battle, some of these sisters gonna want to battle. We're not gonna hold them back. But we gotta watch her. We don't want our sisters hurt up. But some of these sisters, they mad. They want to kick ass, and they can do it too. I've seen them. Some of these sisters want to go to, when we go to battle, in that final war, some of these sisters gonna want to get involved in that. And they're angry. They want to get some kickback. You know? And we're gonna let some of them do their thing, but we're gonna sit here and watch it, because you ain't gonna mess our sisters up. I tell you that, because it's a whole new dynamic. See, because we're gonna protect our women. We ain't doing it now, but look. Once we put a hurt on your ass for what you did to our women, anybody gonna mess with our women no more ever. Even think about it. If thought come to their head, they blow their head off themselves. I'm on there. What? Think like, bam! You ain't gonna do it. See? But it starts right now with respecting these sisters. Just because they don't think like you. And sisters, we brothers don't think like you. It's 180 degrees both ways. We gotta start understanding how each other think and try to work. It's better. It's easy. It's better to be. You can be disagree. You can disagree without being disagreeable. Try to understand. She's more intuitive. But that don't mean she's wrong. I mean, I've been in situations where, man, that dude, he ain't no good. She got an instinct on that. Now I'm looking at it from a logical, man, I don't see nothing wrong with that. Right? And next thing you know, you got a knife in your back, and she was right. Because she comes at it from a different angle. I'm not saying she's not logical, she is logical. Right? She's more logical than some of us. I'm not saying that. See? But she pick up vibes that you don't pick up. Let me speak on that for a minute. You know, tuning in is about picking up. See, I shouldn't get this too deep here. I'm not going to do it. What I'm saying is, we all have the ability to tune in. Right now, it's on subconscious level. So subconscious level, I have experiences where you know what somebody's thinking, or you know what's going to happen, right? Because we have that ability. Some of us stronger than others, and you have to be very strong. See, but that defies logic. But it's something you can't see, you can't hear it constantly, but you know it. You just feel it. And women have that. She has an edge on that because she's more instinctive in that category. And in this world, you see, you know, she feels something, and it's accurate, but she's not conscious of it. She's subconscious on a subconscious level. See, and it's accurate. And you have to be on a conscious level. So we have those type of situations. So therefore, you just dismiss it because you can't see it, can't hear. You can't see Adam either, can you? You can't see it, can hear, but you know it's there. At least you believe it's there. You know, you got to be there because that's Adam's all around. We got to appreciate each other. Now, I mean she's already right, but you see and hear, and you ain't already right either. So we got to take that in consideration. If she says something, look at it. If she says, hey, man, I think that like that, okay, look at it and apply your logic to it and see if you can break it down. Logically. But don't just dismiss it just because you can't see it and hear it. Because he says, when you have no, put it this way, the only reason why you're alive, because you have enough thought pressure that's greater than the pressure of the world around you. Because when the world around you, the pressure of thoughts of people around you are greater than yours, then you crush out of existence. So if they're alive, that means their thoughts are powerful enough to handle what's going on in the world today. And so are you. So when they start trying to agree with each other, trying to understand each other, start knocking each other, dismissing each other, just because we don't understand it, don't see it. I'm going to leave it like that, brothers and sisters. Hope you understand. So I'm going to close out here. First, close out my audios, brothers and sisters. Thank you. This is the Black Alert segment of the Fire Zone. Thank you. Fire Zone out. And for my video audience, thank you today. Thank you for listening. So we have every Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday, right? Resurrection Days of Islam. And we're preparing. See, you right now, I know you're nervous and everything, and even so, this is not the war. But Farrakhan's answer to you right now is go in your secret chamber and hide from the indignation or pray. Yet you've been paying for some years to prepare you. He prepared you for a damn thing, so now he tell you to pray. Well, if that's the case, then why are you getting all this money? He should tell you that 40 years ago. Then you could have 40 years of prayer on your breath, on your belt. See, because he bullshit. Elijah Muhammad was preparing you. He's unprepared you, so you're not prepared. So now, when you ask him, hey, he ain't got no answer. So he tell you, hope you understand, brothers and sisters. I'm going to leave it there. Leave it there, brothers and sisters. Close out here. Okay, there you go. Okay. Assalamu alaikum, brothers and sisters.